माधव बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन संकीर्तन की श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्री श्री राधा माधव अष्टसखी वृंद की श्री श्री पंचतत्व की श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत भक्त वृंद की कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्पुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Today we are going to enter a little technical subject. I have PowerPoint which I'll be sharing with you. At the same time, every bit of it may not be understandable. There are a lot of technical words, Sanskrit words used, pictures used. Part of it will be understandable. And our approach to material science makes us think like a frog in the well. For example, one example I'll tell you. In Mahabharata, you will see, Agni Deva coming and giving a gift of chakra to Lord Krishna, Sudarshan chakra. Like that you will find. Now, do you think if that demigod doesn't give the chakra to Krishna, Krishna will not have chakra? What do you think? Chakra is always there. When he wanted to kill Shishupal, he just did his finger like this and then chakra came. But sometimes you find some devatas want an opportunity to serve the Lord. They come and give some gift. So the scriptures are very mystical in explain this kind of things. Another example I'll tell you. Somebody was asking, Hanuman, we all know very well that Hanuman was born to Anjani, one monkey, female monkey to whom he was born. And he existed from this time. Before that, we hear of Hanuman doing something. How is it possible? Actually, people like Vyasadeva or Hanuman, these people are eternally present. You cannot put a time limit to them. You will hear, for example, some characters coming in Mahabharata also, Ramayana also. How many of you have heard? Seen that? Yeah, Jambavan you have heard? Jaman comes in Ramlila also. And he comes in Krishna Lila also. That means he lives a very long duration of life. Correct, huh? Similarly, you will find Parashuram. Who else you find like that? Huh? Hanuman. He comes in the as a war cry he gives in the Mahabharata also. Correct. And Dwapara Yuga also he comes in Treta also is there. Markandeya Rishi lived through many, many millennia. Vishwamitra Muni also. In fact, even today, during the Kumbh Mela and all, you will find some of the yogis who come, they live 600, 700 years old, people are also there. There are people, therefore the board is put up, when he was born, what is his age. They live very long duration of life. Therefore, people come and click photos of them and all that. They live in Himalayas, Naga Babas. There are people who live very long lives. Even today, there are people. What to speak of in those times? So, also one more thing is, the Shastras talk about manifesting. The word manifest means what? For example, Sadashiva exists prior to singularity. That means prior to the creation of this universe, Sadashiva and Mahavishnu, they both exist. They both come from Sankarshana. From Sankarshan comes Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. Simultaneously they come. They both are existing. From that Sadashiva comes 11 Rudras. But how do those 11 Rudras enter into the material world? They come through the Bhruguti of Brahma. Between the eyebrows of Brahma, when Brahma creates 4 Kumaras, and then he tells them to marry and beget children, at that time they refuse. They want to be brahmacharis. They don't want to marry. So Brahma becomes angry on them. When he became angry, at that time, Rudra comes from his, in between the eyebrow. So that Rudra multiplies into 11 Rudras totally. And Rudra is bluish in color. He cries. And Brahma tells him that, don't worry, I will give you 11 places to reside. I will give you 11 Rudranis to marry also. So they marry 11 Rudranis. Then they occupy 11 places. Therefore, Rudra is called as the son of Brahma. The other day we saw the drama, Bhrigumuni and, Shiva are brothers. Correct? Huh? We see that. That is from this point of view. But the original Shiva is before Brahma also. He is existing even before the creation starts. So he's called Sadashiva. And Sadashiva has an abode called as Kailash, which is between the material world and spiritual world. That is his residence. He has his devotees also. And Sadashiva has, in that abode, there is only kirtan going on. Sadashiva is doing meditation, is in samadhi, and there is kirtan. And those who are close associates of Shiva, those are pure devotees, they may get purified and elevated from there to the Vaikuntha later. But those who make Shiva their target Lord, like in South India, you will see 63 Nayanmars. They were purely worshipping Shiva. So then they go to Shiva's abode in that Kailash, they go. If they worship personal Shiva. And then Shiva is also worshipped by demigod worshippers like Ravana, Bhasmasura, these people. They had nothing to do with Shiva except getting some material benedictions from out of him. Completely business-like relationship. So then Shiva acts as a demigod. He says, okay, take it. Take this material benediction, get lost. So don't trouble me. You have come for a material motivation. You want to get destroyed? Okay, take this and get destroyed. He gives them. So for them, he acts as demigod. And for his own pure followers, he takes them to his abode and trains them in Hare Kirtan, and then they get promoted to Vaikuntha. And there is a third category of people who worship Shiva for moksha. You will find there are people who put Shiva's picture and they don't consider Shiva as a person. They consider Shiva as impersonal, Supreme Brahman. Like that they meditate on him. Their goal is to attain Brahma Jyoti. They want to attain moksha. So that is another category which are called jnanis. They make Shiva their Yogeshwar goal also. Then there are fourth category of people who are Krishna's devotees who see Shiva as a Vaishnavana Natashambhu, like Prachetas, and they were going to the forest. So Shiva came to them and he taught them Rudra Gitam. Rudra Gitam is all about glorification of Vishnu. You will see that. So Shiva himself teaches them how you can get darshan of Vishnu. I will teach you by this Rudra Gitam. So they memorized it And then they went underwater for 10,000 years. They did tapasya and then they meditated on Rudra Gita. The result was Ashtabhuja Vishnu gave them darshan in the waters. You will see that Prachetas got the darshan. So that was achieved by accepting Shiva as a guru. So see, Shiva is becoming their guru. These are the 10 brothers, Prachetas. He became their Vaishnava guru. He taught them how to attain the darshan of Vishnu. Okay. So, yeah, Shiva can become a Vaishnava guru for the Vaishnavas. He can become a demigod for the demigod worshippers. He can actually become a Muktinath for the impersonalist meditators. He can, mm, he can also be considered the ultimate lord by the Shiva's personalist followers, like Kannappa Nayanar in South India. There are people like that. Actually, they don't know anybody beyond Shiva. Like another example is Narsi Mehta in Gujarat, Narsi Mehta. He didn't know anybody beyond Shiva. Shiva was everything for him. But then, when he became a pure devotee of Shiva, then Shiva said, "You are purely worshipping me. Now you are eligible to worship Krishna purely, directly." So he connected him to Krishna. And Shiva has done it to many people like that. Taking them to, I will take you to my master. He took them. So that Sadashiva manifests as 11 Rudras from the eyebrows of Brahma. Now, one boy was asking yesterday, how do you say Shiva is the son of Brahma and the brother of Bhrigu? This happens to Shiva. Actually, the Shastras are so oceanic, you may only know part of the detail. You may not know all the detail. And our mind, due to our modern scientific approaches, it's very, very mechanistic approach, and we calculate things from a very closed point of view. There are so many, therefore I told you the difference between taking birth and manifesting. Like Krishna is taking birth as a son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Are they actually giving birth to him? Krishna is eternally existing in spiritual world, but is manifesting from them simply out of love for them, because they are his loving devotees. Just to give them a feeling that I will become your son. He is nobody's son. He is nobody's son. Uh, he is actually father of everybody, correct, no? But he can become a son out of love. He's just manifesting from them. So therefore Krishna says, if somebody thinks that I take birth like them, then 9.11 Gita he says, Avajanati mam mudha, he says, that foolish. He says. So in the same manner, Vedavyas manifested himself when Parashara Muni and Satyavati, by their union he manifested. But that's not the first time Vedavyas is born. Vedavyas is literary incarnation. He's always existing. In the Vyasa Gufa in Badrinath, he's eternally existing there. But he can manifest himself. He can manifest himself. Again, the point of manifest means at a certain point of time you appear. That doesn't mean that's the first time you are appearing. So, therefore, these kind of things are the ones which make the people quarrel with one another, because people have half information. This fellow has another half information. They both are fighting. But actually, if you put the information together, it will be total. He has one jig, he has another jig. But it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So, therefore, the Vedic literature can be confusing for people when you see from one vantage point. And you don't see a total picture. See, if you go into this PPT directly, it may be a little complicated. So I will show the notes first. Although notes looks like exhaustive, but it's very easy to appreciate. It's the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe. So we don't have to read every bit of it, but just the main headings we will see, and then we will go into the PPT. Okay. So where do all the material elements come from in this world? Like we study in our science, in physics you study about the solids. And in hydraulic machinery, you study about the liquids. And turbo machinery, you study about the gases. And so in this way, solid, liquid, gases, plasma, you study all these things. Then you study about the fire, the engineering, heat and mass transfer and all that. Then you study about the acoustic physics, where you study about the sound. So all these parabolic mirrors and sound effect, echo and all those things you study. So these five are gross five subjects. And beyond that, mind, intelligence, ego, you study about it in psychology and psychiatry. Correct, no? They're all material elements. And beyond these eight material elements is the soul proper, which is not material. Soul is spiritual. So, but where are the material elements coming from? The 120 elements in Mandela's periodic table we were talking. So, let us see how it comes. We will see it today. See, when we talk about it in science, but atheistic people say, oh, there was a chunk and there was something, and suddenly everything came up. And there was some primordial soup from which living forms came, they will say. Similarly, there was some chunk which had a big bang and everything came. So let us see what the Shastras say about it. So Prabhupada used to say this famous statement. If you are calling nature as mother, then there must be father. Like for example, we all are children of nature. So mother nature is there, children are there. If a mother is sitting with a baby on her lap, definitely can say she is a married woman. Correct or not? Otherwise, how did she get the baby? Woman says, somehow I got the baby. There is no man involved in my life. Can she say that? There has to be a man. Without a man, she cannot. That's why Prabhupada said, how can there be mother nature without father God? So God is the one who gives a seed to the mother nature. So another question Prabhupada used to ask her, how can there be universal brotherhood without universal fatherhood? Like now India is taking lead in the G20. You know that? As Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. So can you have a kutumba without father? Imagine brothers say, hey, पिताजी को उड़ा दो, हम सब बांट कर खाएंगे. Can they do that? You shoot the father, and then children can live happily by dividing the money very morally and honestly. Can they do that? No. If you shoot the father, you will shoot one another. 100% guaranteed. So therefore, if people don't put Krishna in the center, then they will all fight like cats and dogs only. Therefore, he used to say, how can there be universal brotherhood without universal father? So, this is another very important thing Prabhupada brings up in his conversations. The energetic behind energy. This is a very important thing. For example, if a stone comes flying into this room and it comes and hits your head, what's the first question you will ask? Who threw the stone? Who loaded the stone with energy? That means for energy to act, there has to be energetic who causes that momentum. Without energetic, energy cannot exist. For example, some scientists are saying that the sun is going on and on because of some nuclear fission or nuclear fusion. It must be some chain reaction, otherwise how it can go on and on. So you can challenge them with a question. If you say it's chain reaction, who bombarded the first neutron? 1 and 0, correct now? That question you can ask. Then they'll be completely, their mouth will be shut, they can't say that. So even if it is going on by chain reaction, God must have bombarded the first neutron. Like this fan is rotating, somebody has switched on the switch. Otherwise it cannot rotate. Light is on, somebody has switched it on. Like you are sitting in a computer lab, you just press one button. Immediately the command goes to another room where there's a big printing machine, and goes on. You've seen that? It can print 10,000 pages. But for the 10,000 pages you printed, one living person like you has to press the button. So that is the main point. You are the energetic who is causing that energy to flow. Energy always is preceded by energetic. You will see that. Without the energetic person, energy cannot act. So that is the whole point here. So Prabhupada is explaining about that. So Prabhupada is quoting that Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate. So on the Vishnu Purana he quotes, just like you put one lamp in a dark room, it spreads light all over the room. Similarly, Krishna is in the spiritual world, but he spreads his energies. And then he is the pusher behind the energies. And he gives a push it acts. For example, like in Bible also it said, God said, let there be light, and there was sun. God said, let there be earth, and there was earth. So God has to will. When he wills, then only things happen. Otherwise, like God wills that let my living entities get their food. Then the sun starts moving. It makes the clouds, it showers, grains are produced, fruits are produced, vegetables are produced, spices are produced. Then we take all those things and then we fill up our belly, after offering to God, isn't it? So that means unless he wills, that's what he says, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. That's the whole point. He's an energetic person behind the energies, he's saying. So Prabhupada is giving an example of this push button magic. He's saying same thing what I told you. Huh? You press a button and then the machine works like that. No machine can work unless you start it. See, recently in Boston they have made robots now. So some scientists said it's better to send the robots to war rather than humans go for the war. Because humans will be killed in the war. Our body gets damaged and all that. So let us send machine robots. And every country can send their robots. You send your robo and they can fight. Then whichever country wins, they won without any life damage. Nice idea, no? So you control robo from your control room only. They said nowadays robots actually they have simulate all the movements, like the finger movements, wrist movement, shoulder movement, hip movement, knee movement. It can also, through the sensors, it can see the surface. Surface like this, it can stand like this, can jump in the steps also. It can see the steps and jump. Everything is controllable now. In fact, they said the advantage of the robo is you can also send it into the forest and jungles where lions, tigers may be there. Still, we have no fear. Lions cannot bite them, isn't it? They are made of metallic body, strong. But one difficulty they found out. What is it? When we send robots to the battle, if the enemy party hacks the robo, then the robo will turn against you. Because robo does not have loyalty. It is not loyal to America because America has sent me. If Russia hacks it, then the robo will become whose robo? Russia's robo. Then he'll take the same gun and shoot you. You only send him and he will shoot you only. Then they said, oh, this is very dangerous. Because robo has no self-awareness. He has no consciousness. He has no free will. He has no intentionality. He lacks all these things. Because machine is a machine. No matter how much you develop it, it cannot have any loyalty. On the other hand, an Indian soldier is caught in Pakistan. Even before he is taken to task, he will immediately take out the cyanide. That's all. On the spot, he will die. He will not release any secrets. He will die for India, but he will not release the secrets. Correct or not? Isn't it? So, that's what makes the Chetan Jivatma, different from a robo. You see? So, in this way, you will see that Krishna is the supreme and he has many part and parcels jivas in this world who are Chetan. So, the whole world is animated by the presence of the jivas who are taking the resources which are jada. So there's jada and chetan, two things. Okay, this I told you, everything acts simply by his will. And he's a supreme artist. Like you will see when the sunlight comes in the morning, the flowers blossom, the green mango becomes ripe mango by the touch of the sun. The chlorophyll is produced by photosynthesis, 40 chemical reactions. All these things are made possible because Krishna, as the sun and moon, is watching them. Without his involvement, these things cannot happen. So then coming to the cosmic creation, how everything came to be created. In Bhagavatam, minutest details are explained. The first thing Bhagavatam says is Krishna doesn't take part in the creation directly. This is a very important information. Most religions think that God creates, God maintains, God annihilates, which Krishna does not directly do. The reason is God has two roles. One role is to exchange love with his devotees in the spiritual world by performing Nitya Leela, we call it, eternal pastimes. Like I have told you before, with Yashoda, Nanda, with Gopas, with gopis, with cows, calves, peacocks, deers and all. That is one type of activity. Another type of activity is routine activity of creating, maintaining and annihilating. This Krishna delegates. to his expansions. He doesn't do it himself. So, and it is seen even in this world also. If there is a very rich man, stinking rich man, say multi-millionaire or a billionaire, do you think he drives his car himself? What does he do? He is not only one driver, sometimes he has a dozen cars. Huh? So there is a big car for taking his whole family. There may be a small car which he might use for going to office very quickly. There may be a topless car which he may take to go to the ocean beach sometimes on a light holiday. He may go, correct now? He has different type of cars. And when he is coming out of the palace, the man is coming. All the dozen drivers will come to him and say, sir, which car you want to use? You want to use this car? And he will tell him, no, get that car. So they get him. Just as everybody is eager to, take him in their car, similarly, all the energies are at Krishna's disposal. You understand this? Like energy is asking, my dear Lord, which energy you want to use now? Icha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Om, Brahma Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Om. You heard that? Amba Parameshwari, Akhilandeshwari. You have heard this song. It says all these Shaktis are assisting the Shaktiman. And like we say, there is a kinetic Shakti, there is a potential Shakti, there is a chemical Shakti, there is electrical Shakti. These are also Shaktis. But all the Shaktis are ultimately coming from Shaktiman, Krishna. And all Shaktis are at his beck and call. So when he wants to create, then he involves Shiva and Parvati. And that is why many people say that Shiva and Parvati are involved practically in everything. She is involved, Devi is involved in all the three, Srishti, Sthiti and Pralaya. You will see that when I show the PPT. So, they are involved in the running on the material world, Shiva and Parvati. But prior to that, he involves three Purusha incarnations. That I will show you more. You all know that Mahavishnu, Garvadaksha Vishnu and Shiradaksha Vishnu. We will show that later. I think this will be the simplest PPT we will start with, and then we will go to the difficult one later on. The difficult one gives more details. The simple one, gives less details. See, there are two types of creation, Sarga and Visarga. One is called primary creation, one is called secondary creation. So, this is a spiritual sky with innumerable Vaikuntha planets. Just like in material sky, we see material planets. Similarly, in spiritual sky, you find spiritual planets. You all know the difference. Spiritual planets are all completely Satchitananda. They're free from birth, old age, disease, death. All living beings are all pure there. So, there is a Goloka where you see Radha and Krishna here. Below that you find one black color zone is shown here. This is called as Mahat Tattva. So before the Mahat Tattva, there are two prayer steps. In one corner of the spiritual sky, there is something called Pradhan. This Pradhan is subtlest matter possible, where the three gunas are in an undifferentiated state. They exist in a very subtle state. And therefore, there is no ahankara in that. The gunas are not manifest yet. Pradhana is a very subtle state. So Pradhan, Prakriti, Mahatattva, three things. To give a very simple example for this, take a 8-year-old girl, a 18-year-old girl, a 28-year-old girl. Three age groups. Now, an 8-year-old girl is also a girl, but she has no ability to beget a child. Because her mechanism in her body, the womb, is not ready for begetting a child yet. She's still a kid, a small child. The 18-year-old girl has become grown up. She is now a potential mother now. If a man gives her semen, she marries a man, then she has the ability to beget a child. Is that clear? Then a 28-year-old woman already is married and her belly is very big because already baby is inside. Correct, no? That is Mahatattva. So that means beginning with Pradhan, Prakriti and Mahatattva. These are the three levels. And there are differences between the three very clearly. How many of you understood this example which I told you just now? It's clear? Yeah. So matter in the subtlest state is undifferentiated. And then the matter when the three gunas, Okay, let me show that it will become easy. Okay. Okay, everything emanates from the Lord. He says He's the source of everything. Our whole universe is comparable to a single mustard seed in a bag full of mustard seeds. Imagine there is a goni sack with thousands of mustard seeds. So one mustard seed is like one universe. Huh? Is it understandable? No? Correct. And in the middle of all of that, who is lying? Mahavishnu, Krishna's expansion is lying there. So people are trying to understand. This is a speculator huh, who is wearing a specs and trying to understand everything by his own tiny brain. Huh? Okay. Lord Krishna is Vishnu's Shaktiman, Radha or Lakshmi is his Antaranga Shakti, and Durga Devi is called Bahiranga Shakti, external potency. I told you the difference. Antaranga Shakti carries lotus in her hand. Bahiranga Shakti carries a trishul in her hand, correct, no? Yeah. And Antaranga Shakti is like a moonlight to the moon. Huh? Moonlight to the moon or sunlight to the sun. Antaranga Shakti is like that. And Bahiranga Shakti is like a cloud which is way below the sun. Huh? For example, if there is a cloud here, I can't see the sun there. Correct, no? The cloud is blocking my vision. So Maya Devi or Bahiranga Shakti is like that. Whereas Antaranga Shakti is like the sunlight to the sun or moonlight to the moon. Huh? Which means Radha and Krishna are one only. They have divided into two. Huh? So they are one. Whereas Durga Devi is not Krishna's consort, she is sister. Huh? So she acts as a tuition teacher for the living entities. So she is like the cloud, we can say. So that is Bahiranga Shakti. Yeah, first what Mahavishnu does, as you see in the picture, when he sees that some living entities want to be independent, they want to enjoy separately, he glances at Durga, and that glance is called Shambhu. Huh? That's where the Sadashiva, he comes. Sadashiva actually is the one who transports the jivas from Vishnu to Devi. You see here. And that is called Shambhu glance, we call it. Because Vishnu cannot give the jivas to Devi directly because he is brother-sister relationship. But he is giving through whom? Through whom he is giving? Shambhu. Who is Shambhu? Shiva. So he is giving through Shiva. So then Shiva is handing over to Durga those jivas. And then the Durga Devi is folding her palm and saying that, now I will take care of all these jivas. I will give them bodies and everything. So Shiva and Durga are the father and mother of the material world. And Radha, Krishna, Lakshmi, and Sitaram, they are all father and mother of the spiritual world. At this point of creation, you will see the Brahmanda eggs are clustered together. Now 5 elements are making up the layers covering them. That we will see later. 18 other elements are all in an undifferentiated, unanimated state, as I told you. It's called Pradhan, we call it. Matter in its most subtle form. See, the earth, water, fire, air, ether, when you go. And then further beyond ether is mind, intelligence, ego. So in that way, ego is the subtlest of the matter, of the 8 elements, correct, no? Why? What is the meaning of subtle? I'll tell you. Say, for example, a room is closed. You want to keep a bucket inside, but the room is locked. Can you keep the bucket inside? Because it is gross, big one. You can't do it. But if you have water, you can throw water from below the door. If there is a little gap, if you throw the water, you can throw water into the room inside. So water is more subtle. Correct, no? Earth, water. And then fire is even more subtle. You need only one spark of fire to spread fire. It's more subtle. And similarly, air, you will see, air doesn't even need even a big gap also. One small hole is enough for air to leak from a balloon. You've seen that? One prick it with one pin, the air can get away out. It is even more subtle, you will see. And the ether is a space or the sound. That's a subtlest. So in this way, the matter has subtler and subtler aspects. Then you can go to mind. Mind is so subtle you can't even see it with the eyes, but you know its presence. Then intelligence, then ego. They are all subtle and subtle like that. But all are put together pradhan. But right now they are not separated. They are all in unseparated form. See, now the Lord enters with the time factor, kala. See, as a woman cannot produce children unless impregnated by a man, material nature cannot produce or manifest anything, unless it is impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of time factor. The time factor is not Krishna, that is Shiva. Here in this. Therefore, Shiva is called as Kala and his wife is called Kali. How many have heard the name Kali? Yeah, that is Devi. So Kala and Kali union happens here. After that only further development will take place. You see. This is what I told you now. Woman, who is pregnant and then he delivers. He says. So the three Mahatattva, shadow of pure consciousness, is the germinating place of all creation. So, and 23 principal elements were set in action by the will of the Supreme. The gigantic universal form or Vishwarupa body of the Lord came into existence. Okay, what is the Vishwarupa body? It is described that this whole universe from the top to bottom is like a man running, like you see the picture shown here. All the planetary systems are arranged like that. Like the mountains are his bones. The ocean is his navel. The sun and moon are his eyes. And the trees are like the hairs on his body. The camels and asses, they are like his nails, it is said. And the day and night are his closing of the eyes and opening of the eyes. And the birds chirping like a cuckoo and other birds, the chirping is like a smile. It is said. His front is like the religion. His back is irreligion. So like that it is described. So if you read Vishnu Sahasranamam, there he says about this. Bhuvpadav yasyanabir vedasurnila chandra suryavshanetre karnavasha shirodhyaur mukamapi daghano yasya vaste yamabdihi antastam yasya vishwam suranara kagago bhogi gandharva daityaihi chitram ram ram yatetam tripunavapusham vishnumesham namami. Like that it goes on. क्षीरोदन्पत्पदेशेषु च मणिबलसत्सैकते मौक्तिकानां मालाग्लुप्तासनस्तस्फटिकमणिनिभयत् शुभ्रैरभ्रैरदभ्रैरुपरिविरचितैर्मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैर् आनन्दीयः पुनीयादनलगदाशङ्कपाणिर्मुकुन्दः. Then the Bhuvpadu Yasanavir. The whole thing is description of the Virat Purusha only there. So the Virat Purusha's eyes are the sun and moon, and his whole body is made up of the planetary systems only. So, if you see a close-up of this, these are all made of planets only. You are seeing it, correct? These are made up of. So, Virat Purusha's body is made up of material elements, not spiritual elements. Therefore, in his heart, you see here, resides Vishnu. So, Vishnu is the Antaryami of is existing, because of which the Virat Purusha functions. Otherwise, Virat Purusha is nothing but a combination of material elements. We can call it a material form. We can call it a material form. So this whole planetary systems come into existence. Yeah, within the Mahatattva, the gigantic universal form manifests senses and sense organs. After that, the Mahatattva, the Ahankara is introduced first time. After that, there is Sattvic Ahankar, Rajasic Ahankar, Tamasic Ahankar. Three, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Ahankar is mixed with that. Then you will see that I'll show you. Here you see, from the Sattva-guna, mind comes. Sattva-guna plus Ahankara. If you see here, Ahankara mixed with Mahatattva elements. In goodness produces mind, in passion produces intelligence and sense organs and senses, and in ignorance produces 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. 3 subtle elements. So in this way, this will be more detail. I'll show you in other PPT. I'll show you. Now you can just see overall. After creating the total material energy, the Mahatattva, and thereby manifesting gigantic universal form with senses and sense organs, the Supreme Lord entered within it. So he enters there. See, sorry. Here you see, Mahavishnu enters each universe as what Vishnu? Garbhasaksha Vishnu, each universe. And he fills the universe with half of the universe with water from his own body. And he lies in the Ananta Shesha and creates Brahma. See, he creates Brahma. From his navel, Brahma is born. So this is very adbhutam, very wonderful, because generally in this world, man needs a woman to produce. Correct, no? a baby, but he produces from his own navel, he can produce Brahma. And Brahma is a first created living being, very dear to the Lord. He creates all the Sarigama Padanisa, Dhvani. He creates all the different uh, type of. We will show you what all he creates, Brahma. This is a when Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying like this, from his navel when Brahma comes, that is the time this form of thousand-headed Vishnu form manifests. We recite about it in Purusha Sukta prayers. Sahasra Shirsa Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Vritvan Atyadishta Dashangulam Purusha Evedagum Sarvam Yadbhutam Yatcha Bhavyam Udamritatpashyeshanah Yadannenatirohati Ishavanasya Mahima. Very, very famous recitation. In any Vedic program, it is always recited, Purusha Sukta prayers. That is recited for this personality, who's Vishwarupa. Actually, the Vishwarupa was shown by Krishna to Arjuna in the battlefield also, Kurukshetra, right? No? So here we call it as a Virat Rupa. See, so these are all called primary creation. Creation of Mahatattva, Ahankara, sense perception, and the other working senses, knowledge senses, and then the controlling deities for the senses. This is another thing, you see, for every one of our sense, there is one Devata who's controlling it. For example, our eyes are controlled by Surya. Why? If without Surya or any light, which is actually deriving from light emitting substances, derived the light from Surya only originally. So therefore, without any external aid of light, we can't see our hands also. In a pitch dark night, you cannot see. Therefore, our controller of eye is who? Surya, like that. Similar controller of mind, anybody knows? Moon. That's why people say honeymoon, correct, no? Have you ever seen people saying honey sun? The honeymoon, because connected to mind. Also, on the full moon day, many of the mental asylum doctors can tell you the patients become extremely mad on the full moon day when full moon is in the sky. Also, the ocean tides, scientists have found that they rise very high during the full moon day, which means the moon has the ability to affect our mind. Affect our mind. It is connected to our mind. Similarly, for the nose, Ashwini Kumaras are the controllers. Why? Because if you take some jadi booty, you generally rub it and you keep it in the nose to check what is that medicine. But the smell only Ayurvedic medicines are assessed. So Ashwini Kumaras are in charge for the nose. And for the ears, Dig Devatas are in charge. Why? Because when you clap hands like this, immediately you turn to the side from where the sound came. So the ears are controlled by Dig Devatas. And then the mouth is controlled by Agni. Why? Because with mouth, if you speak something erratic, you'll get a slap. Just like in a stove, if the fire is too much, then the halwa gets burnt. Correct, no? Similarly, sometimes we speak something inappropriate with the mouth, and then we burn out somebody. Correct, no? So therefore, the mouth is controlled by Agni. You will see that. Varuna controls the tongue. Indra controls the hands and legs. Some people get paralysis. That means Indra has withdrawn their potency. Then they will be like this. You've seen that? Some people cannot. One side of the body doesn't function. And genitals are controlled by Brahma. Prajapati. So in this way, all our senses have presiding deities also, without whose sanction, we won't be able to use those senses. So they were created. And then, okay. And then, secondary creation, Vaikrita creation, we call immovable living entities like trees and plants. And 28 lower species, I will show you that later. They act by smell and not by memory. Humans and demigods were created. We will show how it came. We will show that. The spiritual world Prabhupada says there is no creation, no destruction. In the material world, there is creation and also destruction. Yes. Prakritim swam avashtabhya visrijami punah punah bhutagrama mimam kritam avasham prakritir vashat. Krishna is telling that the whole cosmic world is under him, and by his will it is manifested and destroyed. It is created, it is taken for some distance and then it is destroyed. So what is the purpose of this creation? I will just show you that. That's very important. Why this world he creates? What is the purpose? Yeah, see here. Here it says here. Purpose of metal creation. Please read it.
Purpose of, purpose of material creation, a chance offered to conditioned souls to come back to Godhead, to learn how to perform yajnas for satisfaction of Supreme.
Yajna not only means you have to pour ghee in the fire. That's not the only yajna. Yajna means pleasing the Lord. You're offering bhoga to Lord. You're chanting Hare Krishna. You are waking up in the morning and coming in front of deities. All this is called yajna. Yeah.
Benefit of yajnas, to get happiness in the material world and to purify the heart of the living entity later and to enter into the kingdom of God.
Yeah. These are the benefits. So, here Krishna says, you see, we all have a desire to fulfill our material desires, correct now? At the same time, Krishna also wants us to purify the heart. Okay, let us put it as a simple example. Say, when you all went to college, you have one desire, your father has another desire, correct now? When you go to college, your desire is, I can have fun, I can play with my friends, I can go to movies, I can go to parties, we can enjoy life. So you have some desire to enjoy. But your father is sending you to college along with some monthly money he sends you. And what is his expectation from you? Tell me. You finish your studies and come back and join his business. Correct, no? He has expectation. But still he sends you money. But some of the students you will see, they discard the father's desire. And then they just eat, drink and be merry and they, watch movies, roam with girls, smoke, drink. And the father is very unhappy that this fellow misused all the money. I know boys in my college, they have seen they got washed out in first year. And in third semester also they got washed out. Then the father came to college and asked, Beta, what is going on? And he gave him one more semester chance. In the second year also he got complete washout. Father took him out of the college, told him, go to village and you plow the field now. You are unfit for studying engineering. Said. So that means he displeased the father, correct? No? So what happened to the boy? Why he displeased the father? The boy made sense gratification the only goal. That was his problem. Similarly, the living entities who come here, Krishna is so kind. He's telling them, okay, you have a desire to enjoy your senses. Okay, I'll give you nice food. So look at the devatas in the picture. They're showering rains. They're giving, grains. They're giving sunlight, moonlight, wind. Everything they are providing. Krishna is at the top, telling the devatas to provide. He says, Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayanta shreya paramavapsita. In this way, Krishna says, so you practice the Vedas and worship me and worship the Devatas and then get all the facilities and amenities. If you abide by my laws, I'll provide you everything. You enjoy also at the same, enjoy not in any way you want. Enjoy in the way that's allowed. Okay, you have desire to enjoy with a woman, then you marry properly and protect the woman. You have a desire to enjoy eating, you offer the bhoga to me and eat prasadam. Correct, no? Like that he says. So I will provide you facilities for enjoying, but enjoying is not the goal of your life. What is the goal of your life? Go back to Godhead. And for that, before going back to Godhead, you have to purify the heart. That's what he's saying. Fulfilling all material desire is our goal in this world. And purifying our heart to elevate us to back to Godhead, that is Krishna's goal. Krishna wants us to do that. And he's giving us room for both. Yeah. See, here he says, all of you repeat this, Ishtan Bhogan Hivo Deva Dasyante Yajna Bhavitaha Dattana Pradayabhyo Shobhungte Stena Yevasaha. He's saying that, see, Ishtan Bhogan means all the very nice, enjoyable, delightful objects living entities accept. Dasyante Yajna Bhavitaha. If Right, Datan, if one takes all those things only for Bhungte, enjoying, is Thena Yevasa means is a thief, he's saying. Huh? Uh, okay, like here you see. You see?
Benefit.
Below on the blue one you read, blue one.
All material necessities comes through yajna. Example, all eatable, either vegetarian or non-vegetarian. All animals subsist on vegetation. Heat, light, water, air, etc. All manufacturing enterprises, iron, manganese, sulfur, etc.
See, iron, manganese, sulfur, all these things are required for industries. Huh? And heat, light, water, air is required for your survival. And eatables are required for your nourishment. So all these three are provided by Krishna, so that, like you see in the picture here, we can accept them and keep our body and mind healthy, so that we can focus on spiritual life, purify our heart, and go back to God. That's a goal. Huh? Read that.
No one can manufacture anything. All eatables include grains, fruits, vegetable, milk, sugar, etc. Everything is supplied by God.
Yeah, like that. So Krishna says he is supplying all these things. Yesterday also I showed you. Huh? Hmm. See this family, just eat, drink, and be merry, fellow. See that? Huh? Yeah. They don't care a farthing for God. So Prabhupada says they have forgotten the purpose of creation. They take all the supplies for sense gratification. That means they're enjoying the gifts without offering sacrifice to God. Therefore, Prabhupada is calling them as thieves. Society of Prabhupada is not calling, Krishna is calling. Bhungte stena evasa. A society of thieves can never be happy. This is not what most people are doing in society nowadays. Correct, no? Just eat, drink, and be merry. They don't even know what God wants us to do. They get sinful reactions. See, the thief is running, police is chasing. See. So, if somebody forgets the goal of life and takes the commodities, actually, why you should not take commodities? Because we didn't create them in the first place. Say, if I want your bike, should I ask you or not? If your friend is taking your bike, you'll ask you, hey, can I take it for an hour? So, if you're a gentleman, you are supposed to ask. If you're not a gentleman, you will just snatch and take it. So then one becomes a thief. So see, in the Vedic text, these 5 types of yajnas are given. Below you see, Bali Vaishya Deva Yajna means feeding the animals like cows, dogs, horses, camels, all those people. Atiti Yajna means Atiti Satkar, welcoming Atitis to your home and feeding them prasad also. And Pitru Yajna means to the ancestors, like your forefathers, who have given good sanskar to you in the family line. After they depart, we do for them. And Deva Yajna means, you know, all the devatas are giving us sunlight, moonlight, wind, and rains and all that. We thank them by performing Deva Yajna, like we do now. Harihi Om Sham No Mitra Sham Varunah Sham No Bhavat Paryamam Sham Na Indro Brihaspatihi Sham No Vishnu Rukramaha. So we are offering to all these devatas also, because they were taking so many things from them. Then the Brahma Yajna means Rishi Rin. Rishi Rin means the Rishis have given us the law codes of mankind, how to live our life. So the Rin we can fulfill by studying the Vedic literature and following that. So these are done in the Vedic times. You see, Brahma Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Deva Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, and Nri Yajna. So one who does not do these things and just takes the supplies and enjoys life, he becomes a thief. He becomes. So in this age, we can't do all these different yajnas, but if you do Sankirtan Yajna, I showed you in the first day when you came on video, remember? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing on the street, making everybody dance. This is all we have to do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So by this we can easily attract the Lord's attention in this age. Yeah. And then Lord says, if you are eating the items from this world without offering to me, then you become a sinner. You commit sin by that. One becomes a thief. Because Anna cannot be created by anybody. The Lord will only give rains when He is pleased with us. So coming back here, so is the purpose of the world clear to everybody? Who can tell me in briefly what is the purpose of this world? Why is it created by God? Yes? Mike, you give him? Yeah. Let's hear. Yeah. One more mic, where is it? Yeah. Where is another mic? I can give behind. You can tell. Mic, yeah.
Hare Krishna. The purpose of this life is to fulfill our desires and purify our heart and go back to Godhead, back to Godhead.
Yeah. And fulfill our desires. And can we fulfill our desires in whatever way we want?
No, in the way what God provided to us.
In the Vedas it is said, it's called as, all of you please repeat this, sanction, sanctified, regulated. For example, what is sanctioned food? Anybody can say? Vegetarian food. Vegetarian food is sanctioned food. What is sanctified food? Prasada. Prasada means sanctified food. What is regulated food? Quantity. That means even prasadam also you should not overeat. If you overeat, you will feel sleepy. Actually, prasadam should produce energy. Energy is defined in science as capacity to do work. Correct, na? So energy. That means eating prasad, if you want energy, then you have to eat moderately, regulated. Similarly, a boy wants to, he says, oh, I want to connect with a girl. Yes, what is sanction? Is he sanctioned to connect with the girl? Is it sanctioned? Yeah. No. Actually, a girl belongs to whom? Belongs to you or somebody else? God. So somebody, who is that somebody? Father. She belongs to her father. That's why father gives kanya. And then at that time you can do pani grahanam. Pani means hand. Grahanam means to catch. If father is handing over a daughter to you, then you can catch the hand and go around the fire. Then you take responsibility for her. After that, you are allowed to live as a family. Not that boy and girl just live in the same room together like cat and dog. That's not allowed. So therefore, what is sanctioned? Marriage is sanctioned. And when is the marriage sanctified? When both of them become devotees. Husband and wife both are wearing tilak, they're chanting Hare Krishna. Then it is sanctified. When it is regulated, the goal of family life is not just to enjoy life, but they also want to put Krishna in the center and progress in devotion service. They don't waste money, they save money, and then they use the time and money and energy in Krishna service, then regulated life. In the same manner, you can talk about everything. So talk about money. So you want money. What is sanctioned for you? You can do a job and earn money. So can we get money from under the table? Or can we put our hand in somebody's pocket and loot? That is not sanctioned. What is sanctioned? Honorable job. Proper job you do. And the job should not be a sinful job also. You can't work for a liquor company or a slaughterhouse company. You can't work. So make sure you work for a proper company and honorably earn the money. That is sanctioned. And what is sanctified? Yeah. When you use a part of the money in Krishna service, say for example, you buy some, 20 Bhagavad Gitas and distribute to your friends. Not only you become devotee, you try to make the people in the world devotee also. Or you cook prasadam at home and invite all the neighbors and do some kirtan and distribute prasadam. Then that money becomes sanctified. Earlier it was sanctioned, now it is sanctified. And in this way, and then what is regulated? Regulated means don't squander the wealth. Don't waste the wealth. Like recently when I went to America, one boy cried that he was laid off from Google. I asked him, how long you worked? 6 years he has worked. How much you saved? He said, I didn't save anything. Because I thought a lot of money I'm getting, so I can just keep spending. So that is foolishness. I told him that henceforth, when you earn money, you have to save. Because any time in this world there can be danger, correct now? If you are saving money, if you are laid off from the job, then the saved money will help you, correct now? So that is regulated life. Unnecessarily don't waste money. So sanction, sanctified. So this is the enjoyment allowed for us in this world. Any type of enjoyment you want. So can you enjoy having a house? You can build a house in a land. So what is sanction? Can you encroach on somebody's land? No. Then you should have your own land. Pay the money, have the papers, purchase. That is sanction. When is your house sanctified? When you make an altar in the house, do kirtan, do the morning program, then it is sanctified. When is your house regulated? You don't take a hefty loan. Say, I took 80 lakh rupees loan and for the rest of the life I have to pay back. So don't take a very hefty loan like that. That is unregulated. Correct? No? So regulated means you save some money. Maybe you don't buy a very big house because if you don't have money, according to your pocket only you should spend. Whatever fits in the pocket. Huh? You can't spend beyond that because then people use credit card, people take loans. And by that what happens? They are always in anxiety. Car is on loan, house is on loan, washing machine is on loan, TV is on loan, everything is on loan. And the people chase behind you, hey, give the money back. You're living in a big house, but you can't sleep at night because you're in anxiety. So be regulated in earning and spending. Don't spend too much. So that is within the pocket. So that is sanctioned, sanctified. So this type of enjoyment is allowed in this world for us. So then this enjoyment will also not hurt you. But other people are enjoying in a way that they are hurting themselves. They are accepting unsanctioned things and unsanctified things. They are hurting themselves. So one thing is the enjoyment part. We can enjoy in this world in the way we are allowed. And then second thing, what is the purpose of goal of life? Where is the mic? You got the mic? Yeah.
Going back to Godhead.
Yeah. But before going back, we have to do some homework here. What is that?
We have to serve Krishna.
We have to purify our heart. Purify our heart by ABCD, right? A for association.
For association, B for book reading,
Yeah.
C for chanting,
Yeah.
and D for diet.
What diet? Devotion.
Prasadam.
Prasadam. And E for
Engagement.
what engagement? Marriage engagement?
No.
What engagement?
Seva.
Seva engagement. Yeah. Seva engagement. So do these 5 things. Then you get purified, the heart, isn't it? So when the one goal of life is purifying the heart. See, the other part of life which you said enjoyment, it is not compulsory that you have to enjoy. You want to enjoy, therefore Lord has prescribed it. So what devotees do, they increase the purification part and they reduce the enjoyment. They don't waste their time simply enjoying life in this world. But even if they have to enjoy, they will follow this 3-point formula. You'll remember this? What 3 things?
Sanctified
correct.
and
So these are the 2 things. If you want to enjoy life, enjoy the way it is allowed for you. And if you want to purify the heart the way it's prescribed, ABCD. Then you can say going back to God. That's the purpose of the creation. So, okay, Lord enters each planet. I told you these things. So, yeah. And then Lord enters into each universe, not only as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, also as Kshirodaksha Vishnu, who lies in the milk ocean above. And you all know Kshirodaksha Vishnu, all the devatas headed by Brahma go to him whenever there is a trouble. Some demon has taken birth, so all devatas will go to him to milk ocean. That is called what Vishnu? Kshira. Kshira means what? Milk. Kshira Vadaksha Vishnu. And he is the same person who occupies the heart of all living beings as super soul. And he is the same person who becomes who occupies the atom. If he is not present in the atom, even the electrons cannot move. Everything is movement is happening because of his presence. Sarvata Panipadam Tat Sarvatokshikshiro Mukham Sarvata Shrutiman Loke Sarvamavritya Tishtati, he says. I am pervading everywhere, every atom, every heart of living being. So 3 Vishnus, let us see who remembers the name. First Vishnu, what is his name? Yeah, this is Mahavishnu. From him, all the Ananta Koti Brahmandas come from his body. And the second Vishnu's name is Radheshyam. He is inside each of the universe. Correct now? So from his navel comes. So how do you recognize Garbhodaksha Vishnu? Anyway, how will you differentiate between Mahavishnu and Garbhodaksha Vishnu? Yeah, Brahma is born from his navel. That's one way. Another one is Mahavishnu creates millions of universes, whereas Garbhodaksha Vishnu is inside one universe. And the third Vishnu? Yeah. So where is he residing? In the milk ocean, in the top, also in the heart of every living being, and in every atom also. So please repeat this verse. Vishnostu trini rupani purushakyam yato viduhu ekam tu mahatah srishti Dvitiyam tu anda samsthitam. Tritiyam sarvabhutastham. Taninyatva vimuchyate. It's very simple. This is from the Satvata Tantra. It says, Ekam tu Mahata Srishtir. Who is that person creating all the Mahata millions of Brahmandas? Mahavishnu. Dvitiyam, second Vishnu is Anda Samsthitam. He enters into Brahmanda. Who is that? Tritiyam, third Vishnu, Sarva Bhutastham, is the heart of all living beings. Shiradaksha. Clear, no? Kani Atma Vimuchyate. If you know this truth, you are liberated, he is saying. Huh? So all of you are liberated today. You know there are three Vishnus now. Huh? See, now this is Garbhadaksha Vishnu below. See, from his navel comes. See, I have slowly developed it. See how from his navel comes. Look at this picture. See, now lotus is born. Who is born? Brahma. After that, in that danda only the lower and higher plant systems are there. They're called. The lower are called Atal, Sutal, Mahatal, Talatal, Rasatal, Patal. The higher ones are called Bhuhu, Bhuva, Swar, Mahar, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. Totally 14 planetary systems. One planetary system means multiple planets are there in them. In each planetary systems. So, you see, this is one Brahmanda, we call it. So, Bhuloka I have shown in yellow. That's the place where we are there right now. Upper planetary systems, the Bhuva, Swar, they are called Svargalokas. And the Maharloka onwards, rishis are living. In Maharloka and Janaloka, advanced pious living entities are there. Those who are very, very punyatmas, they are living. And Tapaloka, Satyaloka are full of rishis and munis and all the great devotees are living. Satyaloka is the abode of Brahma. He lives in Satyaloka. Similarly, Atala, Sutala, Mahatal, if you want to know detail of each of them, you can read in Bhagavatam, each planet, what it contains. Details are given. So, in this way, the 14 planetary systems are called, put into three categories, upper, middle and lower. Therefore, we often hear the word Triloka Adhipati. Triloka means upper, middle and lower. Okay. So, see now, one thing you can be clear, this is only one Brahmanda which is like one Raika Dana, one mustard seed. Like that, how many Brahmandas are there? Millions are coming from Mahavishnu's body. So, going to heaven means from Bhuloka you go up and then Punya is over, come down. Papa, if you do, you go to hellish planets and come back. That means Punya Papa is all finished within this Brahmanda itself. Clear, no? But when you say that go back to Godhead means outside the Brahmanda, outside Mahatattva, go beyond all that to the spiritual world. Therefore, that's the difference. Millions of universes emerge from Mahavishnu. And that Mahavishnu is also portion of Krishna. We will see how. You see, this is, you will find in Mahabharata description about the Chaturvyuhas. You will find. And Puranas also you will find. From Krishna, first he expands as Balaram. Prabhupada says Krishna and Balaram, there is no difference. Both are same tattva, but only difference is color. Krishna is bluish and Balaram is white. Another difference is Balaram acts as in the mood of servant of Krishna, although he is brother of Krishna. He acts as a servant, acts as a friend, acts as an elder brother. He acts in Vatsalya also. Even in Madhuri Rasa, he becomes a gopi also. Balaram becomes Ananga Manjari gopi and enters Rasalila also. He takes part in Rasalila as a gopi also. He serves Krishna like that. He is a topmost servant of Krishna. When Krishna is Krishna, he is Balaram. When Krishna becomes Rama, Balaram becomes Lakshman. When Krishna becomes Vishnu, Balaram becomes Adishesh. Somebody asked me, what is that snake we find in the altar here? That's Adishesh only. Adishesh, they may have this Shaligram Shila sitting inside. So, you see, from Balaram, the Chaturvyuha comes Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. See, Vasudev is Krishna, then Sankarshan, from him only, later on you see the second Sankarshan, Mahavishnu and Mahadev. That Mahadev is what I told you, Sadashiva. I told you. From that Mahavishnu comes Garbhadaksha Vishnu, then Shiradaksha Vishnu. Comes like this. Okay, Krishna is source of everything. He is the master of all the demigods. Brahma meditates for 100 celestial years. When his meditation was complete, Brahma could see Lord within his own heart, and he saw the Vaikuntha planets Lord showed him. And then So Brahma did this Kama Gayatri, was given to him. He chanted, he glorified Krishna. Brahma Samhita, he spoke. Let us proceed ahead. Now the secondary creation by Brahma is going to be talked. I will show you in the other PPT, I will show you what all he created. He created the Vedic hymns. Like the Vedic hymns he got from the Lord. Like he created this arts, sciences, and the music, drama, all those things. Kalas come from him also. And he also hands over the Vedic knowledge in Guru Parampara. Brahmaji is doing that also. Brahma is the first created living being in this world. And he is the first disciple of Supreme Lord. Krishna himself becomes Guru. Vishnu himself becomes Guru for him. And he has a body of intelligence, Brahmaji. Not like our body, Panchama Bhuti. He has a body of Buddhi, intelligence. Yeah. So I told you, Rudra manifests from the eyebrows of Brahma. And then he gets 11 forms and 11 Rudras. Rudra also creates some descendants who become like ghosts and spirits and all. And Brahma tells him to stop creation. He says that Rudra, you should do only annihilation. Till now, go to the forest and sit down and meditate. He tells him. Therefore, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they have the respective roles. Brahma creates and Vishnu maintains and Rudra annihilates. Then, first thing what Brahma does, he creates 10 suns. See, Atri, he created from the eyes. Angira, Pulastya created from the ears. Like that. Daksha from the thumb. And Kardama from the shadow. Narada from the heart. Like that he created various praja he created in the beginning himself. And then he was wondering how I am going to increase the population in this world. Because innumerable living entities are waiting to get bodies. At that time, Lord Vishnu himself arranged, two creatures he sent. One creature had a mustache, another creature had a swollen breast. Brahma observed suddenly, from Brahma, two creatures came out. You see here, he is called Swayambhuva Mano and Shatarupa. One was a female form, one was male form. So this is creation of Krishna himself. Lord himself created the male and female components, so that by their combination, the Praja Utpatti can continue. Otherwise, Brahma saw that whoever sons he created, those sons actually wanted to become sages. They wanted to become sages and get liberated and go back to Godhead. That was their only goal. So then Lord created the male-female forms. Male-female became attracted to each other. And then they were ready to do Praja Utpatti after that. Then that continued after that. Okay, these things I will leave it here. We will not talk about that. I will show the other PowerPoint. Now comes the real technical thing I told you. With this background, you will understand this one. See, the plan of the Lord in creation is twofold. One is primary plan, secondary plan. The primary plan is to reclaim all of us, to take us back home, back to Godhead. That is his primary plan. And the secondary plan is to give us a chance to enjoy also. It's the secondary plan. So, the jivas naturally are happy when they are back in the spiritual world. So, the first thing I have explained in this slideshow is Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. So, the Vedanta doesn't just teach only oneness. Vedanta and the Upanishads also, we will show. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Varanasi, there was one sannyasi whose name was Prakashanand Saraswati. He asked, what is this? This Chaitanya is dancing and chanting with old people and women and children and all, and like a sentimental fool. He is a sannyasi. He should sit and study Vedanta, like we are all studying. Like that he criticized. So one Maharashtrian Brahmana was very, very unhappy hearing this criticism. He went and told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this kind of foolish talk they are doing about you, my heart is very broken on hearing this. So I want to arrange a prasadam in my house for both you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Prakashanand Saraswati. So that when you both come, look at each other, you may talk. and you can defeat their misunderstandings. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed. So then the prasad was arranged. At that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to that assembly of sannyasis, he was so humble, he sat in the place where they washed the feet. Immediately Prakash Saraswati came and said, "Hey, Krishna Chaitanya, why are you sitting here down? We are all sannyasis sitting there. You should come and sit with us in the elevated place." Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are all Saraswat Sampradaya sannyasis. I am only Bharati Sampradaya. This Sampradaya is little lower. So I am not fit to sit with you." At that time, Prakash Saraswati came and caught hold of his hand and pulled him. You see the picture? Lifted him up. By that, he did some seva to Mahaprabhu. And brought him amongst them and made them sit. Then, when they asked the question, the moment Mahaprabhu opened the mouth, that's all the sannyasis were flabbergasted. They asked so many questions and he answered all their questions. And he spoke the philosophy called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Please read this.
Personality of Godhead, who emanates the material and spiritual world, is the Supreme Spirit. The material world, full of conditioned souls, trying to lord it over matter, is a manifestation of the external energy of the Supreme Lord, and the spiritual world, full of perfect servitors of the Lord, is a manifestation of his internal energy. Since all living entities are minute sparks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the Supreme Soul in both the material and spiritual worlds. The Vaishnavas following Lord
You
Chaitanya.
understand this? This is the spiritual world, that's material world. Spiritual world has all perfect servitors of the Lord. Material world is full of conditioned souls, correct now? Trying to lord over the material nature. And we are minute sparks of the Supreme Lord, yeah.
The Vaishnavas following Lord Chaitanya stress the doctrine of Achintya Bhed Abhed Tattva, which states that the Supreme Lord, being the cause and effect of everything, is inconceivably simultaneously one who is
So how
manifest.
he is inconceivably simultaneously one and different, we will see that. Read this.
We Gaudiya Vaishnava follow Srila Ramanuja's philosophy almost in the same manner. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the identification of Jiva soul as the eternal servant of Krishna and is situated as marginal potency of the Lord based on the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Tattva.
Yeah. Okay, let us give a very simple example. Say, three personalities were standing in an ocean, beach. So, one is a Madhva, one is a Ramanuja follower, and one is Shankara follower. So, the Shankara follower said, "What lies ahead of us is a vast ocean, that's all," he said. Ramanuja follower said, "No, no, no. It is not just the ocean. The ocean has many, many waves. Don't you see that? The waves are different from the ocean. And the waves are coming towards the seashore. You can see that." And the Madhva follower said, every drop of water is separate from the ocean also. It has its separate identity. Don't forget that, he said. So in this way, you will see Madhva means they have two, they say. You've seen Madhva showing two, Dvaitam. And what Ramanuja said was, Vasishtadvaitam, we are simultaneously one and different from God. How it is, we will see. And then Shankarites, they say, ultimately Supreme Brahman is one, and we think we are separate, we are ultimately one with him. Like here, if you see here there is a golden mountain. So Krishna is compared to that. And we are like ornaments, jivas, which are like part and parcel of that mountain. From that mountain, you have made gold ornaments here, which we may wear. So, if Krishna is golden mountain, we are like golden ornaments. What is the difference? Both are gold. But what is the difference? Quantity. In the ornament, there is little quantity. Whereas, in the mountain, there is a huge quantity. Isn't it? Similarly, compare an ocean and a drop of water from the ocean. You will see that. Your ocean has, we did that exercise, you remember? Ocean has whales, waves, ship can go. Whereas in a drop of water, whales are not there, waves are not there, ship cannot go. So there is a different, therefore the water is simultaneously one and different. You see, even in this material world, there is oneness and difference you can see. Einstein said that now, matter and consciousness. See, there's a oneness and difference between matter and consciousness and particles and fields. You know this Newton's, corpuscular theory and Huygens wave theory. Is light a corpuscle or is light a wave? There has been a lot of fight, correct now? Because light behaves in both ways, in two different situations. Similarly, energy and matter, E equal to mc square, our Einstein came up with that. So similarly, the personal and impersonal. So these are all interwoven. They are simultaneously one and different. Even in this world, you can see that. Yeah, please read this.
Achintya Bheda Abhed, not one or many, but one and many.
Not one or many, one and many. He's saying, yeah, yes.
The philosophy of Chaitanya has been formulated in Sanskrit as Achintya Bheda Abhed Tattva. Achintya means inconceivable, Bheda Abhed means simultaneous oneness and manyness, and Tattva means principle or truth. Example: a tree has stem, branches, flowers, fruits, leaves, etc., and all of them have unique names. Every part of tree has a specific name. Each part is simultaneously one with tree and has independent name.
Correct, no? You take a fruit, for example, you call it as a pomegranate fruit. But pomegranate fruit is also a part of the tree. It's connected to the tree. Similarly, the leaves are connected to the tree. The twigs are connected. The flowers are connected. All of them are a part of the tree, but they have a specific name also. So they are simultaneously one with the tree and different from the tree also. Yato va yamani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisham vishanti tad vijnana sasva tad brahmeti. This is Taittiriya Upanishad. Read that.
The original cause of everything is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and after being annihilated, everything enters into Him.
Yeah. See, very important example it is, Prabhupada gives. See, for example, here is a potter making pots. So the potter is like God, and the wheel is like Durga. And the pots that are being made is like all of us, all our material bodies. And then after making the pot, he has stacked them, correct, no? There. Similarly, those are like 8.4 million species. So the 8.4 million species are coming in the wheel of Durga is making them. But how is Durga able to make them? Originally, the seed is given by Krishna. So he is like the potter is the person who is making this pot with the wheel, with the help of Durga. So now what the scientists are seeing, they are only seeing the wheel and the pots. And the potter has gone to eat lunch. So they are thinking that there is no potter only. They are saying, they are seeing material nature, they are seeing the bodies of all living entities. And they are speculating that from the material nature, from the somehow or other from the wheel, all these parts are coming out. Is it true from the wheel? Is it coming out from the wheel? Actually, the wheel is a mechanism by which the mud can be made into parts. Correct now? So that's why I read that. The place.
The place where an earthen pot rests is also earth. Then again, the earthen pot is manufactured by a potter whose body is a product of earth. The potter's wheel with which the pot is made is an expansion of earth, and the ingredients from which the pot are made are also earth.
Yeah. So we are all, yeah.
Achintya Bheda Abhed. Is God personal or impersonal? Achintya Bheda Abhed Tattva also shed light on identity of God himself. It maintains that while God is a transcendental person, he is simultaneously impersonal as well. God is simultaneously full of form and formless, finite and infinite, personal and impersonal.
Yeah. That is possible for him. For Jnanis is impersonal. For Bhaktas is personal. He shows his personal form. Jnanis shows personal. So here I have shown the Shankara's philosophy. Then I have shown Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. Now I will not go into that. So, but here are the Vedic verses which teach oneness and non-difference. Sarvam kalvamidam brahma, atmaivedam sarvamiti, ekam satyam dvitiyam nasti, these kind of things. They are called Abheda Mahavakyas. Then there are Bheda Vakyas also like this, which talk about two birds. How many of you know the example of two birds sitting in a tree? You know that? Who are those two birds? Soul and Super Soul, yeah, correct. Okay, repeat this verse. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. Among all the eternally conscious beings, there is one Nityaha Nityanam Chetanaha Chetanam. That means there are plural eternals, singular eternal. The plural cognizant and singular cognizant. And the Lord is Eko and we are Bahunam. He is singular supreme, plural subordinate. This is from Upanishad, Kata Upanishad. Even the Upanishads clearly show the difference between one and many. See, I'll show you one more. See, I quoted from Mundaka Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka. Purposefully, I have taken Upanishad quotes because people tend to think that Upanishads talk Advaita, correct, no? Therefore, we have to show the Dvaita and the Achintya Veda in the Upanishads. See here one Chandogya Upanishad. Evam yevaisha samprasadosmat sharirat samuthaya param jyotir upasampadya svena rupena vinishpadyate sa uttama purushaha. Yeah, read that.
By the Supreme Lord's mercy, the enlightened soul leaves his material body and enters the effulgent spiritual world. There he attains his own spiritual body. He becomes the most exalted of persons.
See, the word svena rupena is used. What is the meaning of rupena? Form. That means Jiva has a form in the spiritual world. And he doesn't become God. He certainly enters the Param Jyoti. But after entering Param Jyoti, what does he do? He gets Svena Rupena Abhinishpadyate. He gets his spiritual form, the spiritual world. This is from Chandogya Upanishad. So I will start from this slide. I'll give you a short break. You can come back at 11:15. So 11:45. Because the subject is a bit technical, I thought I'll give you a little break. You go out and take a fresh puff of air and come back, okay? 11:45 we'll meet again.